Hey friends, I today choose to read from this notebook that I am writing on. Some will be able to understand what I'm about to say and some won't. The reason beyond that meaning is that everyone has a time or a contract where their consciousness is reaching a higher frequency level. And that's when we get into the part where people are either awake or they're not. Everyone has their own contract on earth to either awake at certain times or to maybe not even awake during this lifetime. So what's happening right now in this creation is there are multiple dimensional realities, and that's really interesting to try to wrap your head around. It took me quite a long time for me to understand what that meant, let alone find the balance and believe what that felt like. Some souls, again, have a contract to awake and see that there's multiple dimensional realities, and some souls aren't to awake at this time. It depends on your other lifetimes that you've lived and what karmatic creations and debt that you're playing with this lifetime. And it also has many other reasons to what your life path is and your plan. So 5 years ago, something just randomly happened to me where I just looked around and everyone looked numb and they looked robotic to me, and something came inside of me, like a feeling where it was just like, whoa, what's going on? How did I get here? What am I doing here? And something just shifted. I have no idea. It just was exactly like that. And from that point, I decided to ask out loud, like, show me deeper truth, show me answers. And within a couple of days, a book came to me, which was The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, which changed my life and showed me that the government created their own laws that we don't have to abide by, and that there's actual universal laws that pertain to all souls, and all humans have a soul, so that means that it's for all of us. And then I was like, oh dang, okay, well, we are on Earth. So I started like pounding on Earth, and I'm like, okay, we're on Earth, so maybe I'll follow these laws instead of following the government's laws, because the government's laws feel corrupted and feel like a lot of it is chaos, and who knows if any of it is even true. And it's about war, and it's about bullying. It's not like I'm watching news and then I'm feeling good. It's like, oh. So after asking and noticing this new frequency around, where I was like, wait, where am I? Like, and it felt very much so like, oh dang, I'm like in a matrix. But what the heck does that even mean? More gifts started coming to me, more answers started coming to me. I started getting calls randomly, having people say that they wanted to guide me, and different mentors started coming into my life. And then I started traveling to sacred places and going to schools on these sacred lands. And I started really seeing the way of this creation. And there is definitely a direct way of this creation. And we've created many different avenues that could trick us in the belief of believing that that's the way of the creation. So why have I chosen this way? I realized the way I was playing is a in-depth created trap for souls serving a toxic society, governments pushing their own agenda on humans, creating entrapped slavery, damage to our souls and to our mind. And then we'd create our own chaotic creation inside, rippling and looping, creating destruction, which also then programs us and creates illusions for us. And I was not about playing in this thick, lower vibrational creation. I was like, oh, dang, yo, you really gone and tried to trip us. And then I was like, well, word to the wise, you know, some of us are going to figure this out. And I was like, you definitely not going to, you know, trip me any longer. I'm not going to be under your enslavement. And from that point on, I was like, I'm going to bust my ass to figure this out. I'm going to bust my butt, and I'm going to dedicate myself. And I did. I basically stopped creating, and I wouldn't say I stopped creating. We're always creating, but I stopped hustling, and I stopped running some companies that I have, and just put them on pause to really dedicate myself to be a guardian and to be in a position to lead with hearty balance, to serve and to share wisdom. But I had to put myself in deep to get to this point, to be able to talk fluently of this movement and this other path, this other way that ignites souls and allows souls to expand on multiple levels, extreme levels, and brings our superhuman body and mind back to us. Now that's important, because when I realized another way, I realized, like, oh wow, a lot of the movies are trying to teach us stuff, but when we're at a certain frequency, it's kind of like we're being blinded. We're just watching the game and just thinking it's like a cool movie. But in reality, there's a lot of keys and hints being presented to us all over the world. You just have to get your consciousness to a certain level, to a certain frequency, for you to realize that it's part of understanding this game. So I think it's very important to understand what creation we are in and how many levels there are presented to us to play in the creation. It is powerful to expand your consciousness in knowing this. And why have I chosen this way? Because this is simply just a level. Here on earth is just one simple level. And there are many more higher levels to this creation. And the higher levels are even more epic. Like, if you feel you have like a super epic life on earth, then imagine your super epic life being extremely epic. And I definitely had a super epic life on earth. I was creating great things for people all over the world, and transforming people all over the world, and doing badass things. And I realized, wow, if this is this good, then if I'm being shown that there's multiple levels that are even better than this, lay it on me, yo. I came here for the game. Lay it on me. You know, Pimp May came here for the game. And that's the real game. So, okay. Why? I am dedicated to bliss, to healthy feelings, and to balance in my mind. I think that's really, really important. All right. So that's what I want to tell you. Blessings. You got this. If you feel like you're a game player, then it's time that we step forward and we play deeper, and we play deeper, and we play deeper. Because right now, we're going through a time, a bridge, where there's multiple realities, but there's one reality where it's a lower vibrational frequency trying to control our minds and our souls. Because this lower frequency, you could call it a dark frequency, you could call it a governmental frequency, you can call it the Illuminati, you could call it all of those things and more. And they're trying to create more chaos, and they're trying to control Earth. They want to own Earth. And with that, they want to own as many souls and turn as many souls into robotic souls where they are then soldiers for this lower frequency. And now there's also another opportunity, an option where it's a bridge, the rainbow bridge, where we awaken and enlighten each other, and we share our wisdom and knowledge, and we do good things to make each other feel good, and we build and create this other timeline, which is the freedom of our souls, the freedom of abundance, the freedom of creation, and the freedom of building your dreams, and the freedom of activating and nourishing your mind in a balanced, lovable, empowering way rather than a wild, crazy, chaotic way. And these timelines right now are definitely hidden for a lot of people. People aren't sure what's going on right now. But for a lot of people that are awake, that understand what's going on, we know that this is the bridge and the dismantling. And it's very important right now that we get this figured out, because as you see, the lower creation isn't here hesitating. They're wanting to grab as many souls to believe their chaos as possible and to corrupt your mind. And then how do you feel? Ask yourself, how do you feel? For me, that didn't feel good. That's why I chose this other path. And I very much so have hearty balance and feel good and nourished and enriched. And I get to create my day every day however I want. And that feels like good freedom, a good way to live. So just ask yourself, how do you feel? And I love you all. Welcome to my channels. I am here to be a guardian and a galactic angel to provide truth and wisdom through my own teachings and through teachings that are served to me from my guardians and from galactics around the multi-universe. Blessings. Rock on, superstars. Let's go and let's beat. No, don't beat anyone up. That's my old self. I was gonna say, let's beat the dark systems down. No. Bring balance and peace and love to yourself. We're all corded. That energy will then branch out through the whole world and through all people, bringing balance and love and peace to everyone else. It starts with self first. Still, you know, we all got our old flows and our new flows, so finding that balance. Blessings.